Today is Wednesday, September 10, 2014, the 253rd day of the year. There are 112 days remaining until the end of 2014. On this day in 1509, an earthquake known as the Lesser Judgment Day strikes Constantinople in northeastern Anatolia. Not quite sure how much of a lesser judgment it is for the 13,000 or so souls who perish in the 7.6 magnitude temblor that explodes beneath Constantinople, the city ruined, 1,000 houses wrecked and burned, 109 mosques destroyed. But for those folks 500 years ago outside the quake zone looking in, you can hear them going, good thing it wasn't the real Judgment Day, because if it was, we wouldn't be standing here all contemplative-like, which is not to say horror-stricken, by the depths and breadth of this natural act of random mass destruction, wiping the brow, whew, and thanking the Jesus for another 10 minutes to breathe the sweet, well-oxygenated earthly atmosphere. Notice that nobody ever thanks the Reaper for taking the 13,000 over there, but sparing us. It's bad taste, right? And bad luck to talk to that bastard. Big mothering earthquake in northeastern Anatolia, about 10 p.m., everybody all up in their beds on this day in 1509, centered in the Sea of Marmara, the inland waterway that connects the Black Sea with the Aegean, separating modern-day European and Asian Turkey, followed by 45 days of aftershocks. It's 2 months before survivors can return to what's left of their homes and decades before the city rebuilds enough to function as it did pre-quake. In another 500 years from now, they'll talk about the 2011 Japanese Tohoku earthquake and tsunami like this, as well as the 2004 Sumatra Andaman Christmas quake. Both pretty darn similar in impact. Born this day in 1801, Marie Catherine Laveau, American voodoo practitioner. She dies at 80 years old in 1881. Marie Laveau is known widely as a powerful voodoo leader born and raised by her Creole mother and Haitian immigrant father in the French Quarter of New Orleans, who, with her daughter Marie Laveau II, stages well-attended public events which draw attendees from every class and walk of life. She's a cultish rock star before anyone thinks to classify popular folk personalities in that way. She invents the template. Marie Laveau and her daughter established the Voodoo Queen tradition in New Orleans. On June 23, 1874, for example, a crowd of some 12,000 fanatical believers, black, white, Creole alike, gather on the shore of Lake Pontchartrain to see Marie II perform traditional voodoo rites on St. John's Eve. Celebrated at the Bayou St. John to honor the feast day of St. John the Baptist, St. John's Eve is venerated in Louisiana voodoo practice. Voodoo originates from the traditions of the West African diaspora in New Orleans. It's rooted in the Dahomean Vodun animist religion. Its liturgical language, Louisiana French Creole. Marie Laveau's magical career as a voodoo healer dominates the better part of the 19th century. Little about her powers or personality can be substantiated. For example, does she really keep a snake named Zombie after an African god? Does she manage to conflate Catholic saints with African spirits in the cosmology of her devoted followers? How much of her adoring and fearful network is developed through her work as a hairdresser in prominent white New Orleans households? How much power does she accrue through secrets she keeps, through the popular house of pleasure she runs in the quarter? During the 1830s, when rumors about her powers are widely disseminated, Marie Laveau overtakes other New Orleans voodoo leaders. Also a Catholic, Marie Laveau encourages her followers to attend Catholic Mass to protect their true beliefs. Author Robert Tallant reports in his book Voodoo in New Orleans that on June 16, 1881, New Orleans newspapers, the Daily Picayune for one, announces that Marie Laveau dies peacefully at her home. Marie Laveau continues to be a central figure of Louisiana voodoo and of New Orleans culture. Gamblers shout her name when throwing dice. Multiple tales of sightings of the Voodoo Queen walking the night streets of the French Quarter long after her death are told. Her grave continues to have more visitors each year than the Graceland grave of Elvis Presley. British novelist, short story writer, poet, fighter pilot Roald Dahl writes, "And above all, watch with glittering eyes the whole world around you, because the greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it." From Rutland, Vermont, this is Richard Alcott speaking.